What if the biggest celebrity transformations in Hollywood were never really about fame or appearance at all? Behind the headlines, before and after photos, and public reactions are deeply personal stories about identity, fear, courage, and finally finding peace. Some of these celebrities spent decades hiding their truth before choosing to live authentically in front of the world. Today, we're looking beyond the surface to understand their journeys with empathy and respect. Subscribe now, because some of these stories may completely change how you see them forever. Caitlyn Jenner's journey became one of the most public identity stories in modern America because the world first knew her through a completely different image. Long before she introduced herself as Caitlyn, millions remembered her as an Olympic champion, the decathlon gold medalist from the 1976 Summer Olympics. To many older viewers, that victory represented discipline, strength, and national pride. But behind that celebrated image was a private truth she carried for decades. Caitlyn later explained that her identity did not match the role the world expected her to perform. In earlier decades, conversations about gender identity were far less understood, so she lived with silence, pressure, and emotional distance from her own truth. At different points, she explored medical guidance and even began steps toward transition. But family responsibilities and public scrutiny made the path difficult. For years, she continued living as a father, husband, athlete, and television figure while privately carrying a feeling that never disappeared. In 2015, at age 65, Caitlyn publicly introduced herself to the world. The announcement created national conversation, especially among people who had followed her for decades. Some were surprised, some confused, and others deeply moved. Her story keeps viewers watching because it raises a powerful question. What happens when external success cannot bring inner peace? Caitlyn's transformation was not only about appearance, it was about finally living honestly after a lifetime of expectation. For many viewers, her journey offers a reminder that authenticity has no age limit. Sometimes the most difficult race is not won in a stadium, but inside one's own life, after years of silence and courage and the need to be seen at last. Laverne Cox's story is powerful because it shows how talent, pain, and purpose can meet at exactly the right moment. Born in Mobile, Alabama, she grew up in a world where traditional expectations shaped how identity was understood. From an early age, she felt different, and that difference often brought isolation, misunderstanding, and emotional struggle. For years, Laverne carried the tension between who she knew herself to be and what the world expected her to show. Leaving Alabama and moving to New York City gave her something she had long needed: space. There, she began embracing her identity more fully and slowly built a life that felt honest. Her breakthrough came with Orange is the New Black, where she played Sophia Bursay. The role mattered because Sophia was not treated as a joke or background detail. She was written with warmth, dignity, humor, and pain. Laverne gave the character humanity, and many viewers saw a transgender woman portrayed respectfully for the first time. In 2014, Laverne became the first openly transgender person nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category. That milestone helped shift Hollywood's understanding of representation. Her journey keeps audiences watching because it is more than celebrity success. It is about surviving rejection, finding language for the self, and then using fame to educate others. Laverne became an advocate for dignity, safety, and equality without losing grace. For older viewers, her story offers a bridge toward understanding. She reminds us that identity may be complex, but respect is simple. Her transformation is ultimately about courage, self-knowledge, and the right to live openly without apology in a changing world today for all. Chaz Jennings' story stands apart because her journey began in front of the public when she was still a child. At just 6 years old, she appeared in a national interview with Barbara Walters and spoke with remarkable clarity about who she was. For many viewers, especially those unfamiliar with transgender children, that moment was surprising, emotional, and unforgettable. From a very young age, Chaz consistently expressed that she was a girl, even though she had been assigned male at birth. This was not a phase or a passing preference. It appeared in the clothes she chose, the way she described herself, and the gentle but firm corrections she made when others misunderstood her identity. What made Chaz's story especially meaningful was the support of her family. Instead of dismissing her feelings, they listened, learned, and stood beside her. That support gave her the stability to grow with confidence in a world that was not always ready to understand her. Through the series I Am Chaz, viewers watched not only milestones, but also challenges: school, friendships, medical decisions, public attention, and the emotional weight of growing up differently. The show helped many families see a transgender young person as fully human, not as an abstract debate. Chaz's journey keeps viewers engaged because it is deeply personal and still evolving. She represents a younger generation raised with more visibility, but not without difficulty. Her story reminds audiences that authenticity can begin early, and that children deserve to be heard with patience and compassion. Chaz Jennings helped open a national conversation about identity, family love, and dignity long before many people were ready to listen carefully together. Chaz Bono's journey carries unique emotional weight because he grew up in one of the most recognizable entertainment families in America. Born to Cher and Sonny Bono, he was introduced to the public at a young age under a different name and identity. From the outside, his childhood seemed connected to fame, music, and opportunity. But privately, something felt unresolved. As Chaz grew older, the distance between how others saw him and how he understood himself became harder to ignore. During his teenage years and adulthood, he struggled with identity, expectation, and the fear of disappointing people around him. That conflict did not appear suddenly. It deepened slowly as his self-understanding became clearer. In the late 2000s, Chaz made the life-changing decision to transition. He began hormone therapy around age 40 and later underwent medical procedures to better align his appearance with his identity. These steps were not taken lightly. They represented years of reflection, courage, and the desire to finally feel at peace. His story reached a wider audience through interviews, writing, and documentary work. By sharing his experience, Chaz helped explain something many viewers had rarely heard described with such honesty. What keeps his journey compelling is the timing. Like Caitlyn Jenner, Chaz shows that authenticity may take years to claim, especially when public expectations are heavy. Fame can make personal truth harder, not easier. Chaz Bono reminds viewers that living honestly is not about rejecting the past. It is about finally becoming whole. His story speaks to anyone who has ever felt unseen, misunderstood, or afraid to disappoint others by choosing personal truth and peace at last in front of everyone watching. Fallon Fox's journey is one of determination, courage, and controversy because she chose authenticity in one of the toughest environments imaginable: professional combat sports. Born in Toledo, Ohio, Fallon understood from an early age that her identity did not match the expectations placed on her. But speaking that truth was not easy. Growing up, she faced confusion, isolation, and limited support. When she shared her identity with family members, the response was difficult, and attempts to redirect her only deepened the emotional struggle. Still, Fallon remained certain of who she was. That certainty became the foundation of her later courage. After years of reflection, she moved forward with transition, a process that required emotional strength and independence. Without consistent family support, each step demanded resilience. Eventually, she found clarity and began building a life aligned with her identity. Fallon then entered the world of mixed martial arts, becoming one of the first openly transgender athletes in the sport. Her presence sparked intense public debate, especially around fairness, inclusion, and athletic competition. But beyond the headlines, her story was also about being seen in a space where difference often meets resistance. What keeps viewers watching is the tension between personal truth and public reaction. Fallon did not simply fight opponents in the cage. She also challenged long-standing assumptions outside it. Her journey reminds audiences that authenticity is not always welcomed easily. Sometimes it requires standing firm while the world debates your right to belong. Fallon Fox's story is not only about sports. It is about visibility, persistence, and the courage to define yourself when others try to define you first publicly and loudly with lasting strength. Andreja Pejic's story belongs to the world of fashion, but its meaning reaches far beyond runways and magazine covers. Born in Bosnia and raised in Australia after her family fled war, Andreja grew up with a sense of difference that was not always easy to name. Her early life was shaped by adaptation, uncertainty, and quiet self-discovery. Before she was publicly known as a female model, Andreja had already made waves in fashion with an androgynous presence that challenged old categories. She modeled both menswear and womenswear with unusual elegance, moving between styles at a time when the industry still preferred clear labels. Designers noticed. Audiences were fascinated. But behind that professional success was a deeper personal journey. Over time, Andreja came to understand her identity more clearly. In 2014, she publicly shared that she had transitioned, explaining that the decision was the result of years of reflection, not a sudden change. What makes Andreja's story powerful is that her career did not end with honesty. It expanded. She continued working in fashion, broke barriers, and became a visible example of how authenticity and success can exist together. Her appearance on major magazine covers, including GQ Portugal, reflected a broader shift toward inclusion. Her journey keeps viewers engaged because it shows transformation as both personal and cultural. Andreja did not simply change how she was seen. She changed what fashion allowed others to imagine. Andreja Pejic reminds audiences that beauty does not belong to one category. Her story is about identity, survival, elegance, the courage to step into the world without shrinking for anyone else's comfort or expectations, even under the spotlight of global fashion. Carmen Carrera's journey began in reality television, but her impact grew far beyond the screen. She first gained public attention on Season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, where her beauty, charisma, and confidence made her stand out. At first, many viewers saw her through the lens of performance, but Carmen's real story was still unfolding. After the show, she began embracing her identity more fully and moved forward with transition. This was not simply about changing appearance. It was a deeply personal process of aligning her public life with who she had long known herself to be. Like many others, she faced uncertainty, judgment, and the pressure of explaining herself to people who did not always understand. A major moment came when Carmen spoke out against language used on RuPaul's Drag Race that she felt was hurtful to transgender people. Her decision to challenge a powerful platform showed courage and a growing commitment to advocacy. She was not only protecting her own dignity, but also asking for more respect for the wider community. In the years that followed, Carmen built a modeling career and appeared on international runways, proving she could move beyond reality television and create a broader public presence. She used visibility as a tool for education, fashion, and representation. Her journey keeps viewers watching because it shows personal growth becoming public impact. Carmen transformed not only how she presented herself, but how she used her voice. Carmen Carrera reminds audiences that visibility matters most when paired with courage. Her story is about beauty, identity, and the power of speaking up when silence would be easier, safer, and more convenient in public life. These 7 journeys remind us that transformation is not just about appearance. It is about truth, courage, identity, and the right to live with dignity. Which story moved you most, and which one helped you understand this topic better? Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more respectful celebrity stories, and stay with us for the next video, where more powerful journeys will be revealed.